Three, two, one.
Hello and welcome to Trees 3 here on Sports Tree Ltd. And on this week's edition of Trees 3, we want to welcome sporting fans back to the arena. But before we get into that, we have to give you our Stump and Bump of the Week, preview the three biggest sporting events of the coming week, and give you our trivia question to get in to win a pair of MLS or NBA tickets of your choice. First things first, we're going to start this off with our Stump of the Week. Earlier this week, the Nova Scotia government, led by Ian Rankin, decided to shut down the Women's World Hockey Championship, citing COVID concerns. Jill Saunier said it best: the province robbed these ladies of their dreams, and it's disgusting. The UFC is selling out crowds. Granted, that's in Florida, but why is women's sports paying the penalty for the Canadian government's negligence? Men's hockey is being played in this country every night. Multiple games, players traveling from city to city. At the trade deadlines, players came over the border, and they're still playing on a nightly basis. Nick Foligno got his first point as a Maple Leaf last night, case in point. But because men's sports draw a bigger profit, they can play, and that's worth the risk. But women have to go through 11 COVID tests and be ready to bleed for their countries on the biggest possible stage, and then you go and punch them in the gut like this. Make it fair, make it right. It's not just Canadian women paying the price. All the women in this tournament have worked hard their entire lives and are being told they can't play. But hey, there are another 4 professional hockey games going on in Canada tonight and tomorrow. But because they're men, it's okay. These ladies, because they're ladies, they can't play. They're not as important. Their dreams don't matter. Ian Rankin and your government, you guys are stumps. It's disgusting. If they are following the guidelines, let the ladies play. Our bump of the week has to go to the UFC. From the start of the pandemic, Dana White said they'd be first. First to what exactly? First to come back. First to provide much needed entertainment for millions of sporting fans across the globe. In a dire time, the UFC performed. Well, they did make a ton of money. They put the audience first and worked tirelessly to do so. Now, White and the UFC are first again, and they've done it upright. The first sold-out sporting event in over a year goes down Saturday night from Jacksonville, Florida. 3 title fights and over 15,000 fans. Nothing like a promise delivered during uncertain times. Dana White and the UFC, you get our bump of the week. Way to be consistent and give the people what they want. Coming in at number 3 this week on Trees 3 is the MLB, with some top-notch matchups tonight, and our affiliates Monkey Knife Fight giving away $15,000 for a home run derby. We need 3 players to hit a dinger today to get in to win our share of $15,000. So here are my top 3 picks. The first one being Matt Olson. He has 3 home runs in the past 2 games, and he's taking on Orioles starter Jorge Lopez, who he hits .500 against throughout his career. Our second pick is Pete Alonso. He's gone yard in back-to-back games, and he's taking on national starter Eric Fetty, who has an ERA above 5 in this young season. Our third and final pick is Carlos Santana. He has homers in consecutive games, and Detroit starter Casey Mize gave up 3 home runs in his last outing. Use the code SPORTSTREE, all one word, all caps, when you sign up for Monkey Knife Fight and make your first deposit. You'll receive a 100% match bonus up to $50, so pop in $50 and you'll get $50 on us. As for matchups you should tune into tonight across the diamond, the Blue Jays are taking on the Rays in a battle of undefeated pitchers. Steven Matz has been outstanding in April, winning all 3 of his starts and posting a 1.47 ERA. As for the Rays' Tyler Glasnow, he holds a .73 ERA through 4 starts and has yet to give up a home run this season. In another pitching duel, it's the San Diego Padres visiting the Dodgers in LA. Yu Darvish gets the call for San Diego and Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers. Kershaw is on fire, and he's allowed just 1 run over his last 19 innings, accumulating 20 strikeouts. Darvish has allowed just 1 hit and struck out 9 his last time out, which happened to be against the Dodgers. So I like another low-scoring matchup in this one. Coming in at number 2 this week on Trees 3 is the PGA. It's the Zurich Classic. We previewed our 3 favorite picks for the tournament on our episode of the Monday Morning Wrap, but to give you a rundown, here they are again. Billy Horschel and Sam Burns are our 3rd favorite pick. 3 years ago, Horschel won this tournament, and now has the chance to become the first player in the tournament's history to win it with 2 different partners. And Burns should have a little extra juice coming into this tournament, being born and raised in Louisiana. Not to mention he was the National Player of the Year at LSU. Our second pick was Bubba Watson and Scotty Scheffler. Scotty Scheffler has risen to 21st in the world rankings, and Bubba Watson is one of the best ball strikers in the field, so look for them to have a fun tournament. Our number 1 team to look out for going into the Zurich Classic was the duo from down under. It's Cameron Smith and Mark Leishman. They sat tied for 3rd entering on Friday, and Cameron Smith is coming off a tie for 9th at the RBC Heritage, which is his third top 10 finish in 9 events this year. As for Leishman, he just finished top 5 at the Masters, and that was his second top 10 result in his last 9 events. Not to mention that Cameron Smith won this event back in 2017. Smith can hit the bombs, and Leishman can mop up around the greens. Coming in number 1 this week is UFC 261. 3 title fights, over 15,000 fans back in the building. This is going to be fireworks, and we're going to run down every single fight on the main card, starting with Anthony Smith and Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute's stock value is on the rise. The 25-year-old Australian is 5-1 in the UFC, with 3 wins coming by the way of knockout and the other 2 being submissions. None of his fights have gone the distance, but he will be in tough against Anthony the Lionheart Smith. Smith, while he's never out of a fight, he's lost 3 out of his last 5 bouts, and he's always down for a scrap. Because of Crute's aggression and Smith's Lionheart, I like this fight to go long, but look for Crute to get the win. The second fight on the main card is a battle of UFC middleweight veterans. It's Uriah Hall versus former champ Chris Weidman. Now, Uriah Hall, he's won 4 out of his last 5 fights, and he's looked tremendous in doing so. His last performance, he knocked out former champion Anderson Silva. His only loss over those 5 fights was to the middleweight juggernaut Paulo Costa. Hall has viral KO power that has brought him international fame, and I like that to be the determining factor in this fight. Chris Weidman has been knocked out in 5 out of his last 7 fights, and in the 2 fights he wasn't knocked out, he managed to take his opponents down 12 times so he wouldn't get punched. Uriah Hall is extremely hard to hold down and one of the most athletic fighters I've seen over the age of 35. 3 of his last 4 wins have come by way of knockout, and I like Hall's experience and power against Weidman's worn chin to be the difference in this bout. Our first title fight of the night sees the former UFC strawweight women's champion Jessica Andrade moving up to fight the current flyweight champion Valentina Shevchenko. Shevchenko is one of the best strikers in modern mixed martial arts for men or women. She even put Amanda Nunes on notice, and I actually had her winning in that second fight. While that loss still weighs heavy on Shevchenko, it is in the past, and she has another Brazilian bulldozer to deal with in Andrade. Andrade has even fought at 135 in the past, and she dominated number 1 contender Katlyn Chookagian in her 125 debut. Look for the first of these 3 title fights to be an absolute war. Andrade has amazing power and wrestling, and she will look to take this fight to the ground and control it. But good luck. Shevchenko has her eye on another rematch with Nunes. With the proper motivation, she should put on a show. Look for both these ladies to trade, but I like Valentina Shevchenko to absolutely dominate this fight. Our second title fight of the night is Rose Namajunas battling Zhang Weili for the UFC Strawweight Championship. Zhang Weili has won 21 straight fights and has picked up wins against Joanna Jędrzejczyk and former champion Jessica Andrade, and she can hit like a truck. Don't believe me? Just ask Jędrzejczyk. Rose Namajunas, however, is the best boxer in women's mixed martial arts. Her head movement and footwork is unmatched, as is her ability to put your lights out. Look for this fight to go long. The champ will bring the power and speed, the challenger the precision and timing. When Thug Rose is on, she's the best 115-pounder on the planet, period. Look for her to prove that Saturday night when she shocks the world yet again. This is the tightest fight on the card and could go 50-50, so if you want to take over 2.5 rounds, that's a safe bet. Our main event is a rematch between Jorge Masvidal and Kamaru Usman. Now, on just 6 days' notice in the first fight, the man that baptizes people in blood, Jorge Masvidal, was able to land 66 strikes on the champion. That's with no training camp, and he still proved to be the superior striker outside of the clinch. Usman dominated the fight, securing 5 takedowns en route to landing 94 significant strikes. Jorge Masvidal told Dana White in the octagon after that fight, he said, in quotes, "I can beat that man." Usman, however, is a collegiate wrestler, and like the first fight, I expect him to control the clinch and grappling en route to victory. A fresh Masvidal will cause problems, and he's never been finished in his UFC career, so look for this fight to go long. While Usman may try to test his boxing against the Kimbo Slice pupil, why play with fire when you can take him down and ice the fight? Make sure you take the over 2.5 rounds in this fight, because it pays better than betting on Kamaru Usman. For this week's trivia question on Trees 3, we're going to give you a little UFC history and see if you were paying attention on the Monday Morning Wrap. Who was our stump of the week on the Monday Morning Wrap, and who is the fighter that Jorge Masvidal knocked out in 5 seconds via flying knee? It's the same person. Folks, make sure you answer that trivia question for a chance to get in to win a pair of MLS or NBA tickets to see your favorite teams over on sportstree.ca. And remember, upgrading your subscription is an upgrade in your chance to win both tickets and up to $15,000 a year. Folks, I'm Connor Roundtree. Cheers. You've made it to the weekend.
3, 2, 1.